Hello. Welcome. How's it going? I don't. uh, Things are happening. I don't know what they are, but they're happening. I feel like I've completely forgotten how to stream. Well, we'll figure it out as we go. Anyway, hi. It's Factorio time. You may be confused. Where's the Factorio? Answer? Right here. I've been listening to like the Mass Effect 2 Galaxy map theme for the past hour, and it feels weird to no longer be listening to it. So I might just decide to listen to it at some point during the stream and completely demonetize my ability to get monetization. That would be hilarious and also probably annoying. So maybe I'll refrain. Who knows? Anyway, let's begin. Last time on this, we were doing things and I need to make an iron and copper trains for the mall, also make the actual mall. Sounds good, past self. I've did some thinking and I want to sort of prioritize our science a little bit. We're getting nuclear power, not that we have the actual ability to use nuclear power because we have no uranium. But regardless of that, I want to focus our military expansion a little bit. We've kind of just walled ourselves in, and I like walling ourselves in, but we need a lot more space and materials in the future if we want to be able to effectively operate. I especially want to advance north. Take this as our new sort of eastern wall, because our current eastern wall is just the lake. And then take this area up north. That'll give us more oil, it'll give us some iron, it'll give us some uranium. I kind of also want to take this giant open area to the west because it's got coal in it. And we need sort of an industrial level amount of coal for things, as well as to fuel the trains, but we could just fuel the trains with oil, solid fuel, something like that. It's an option. I would also really like to know what's up here. Maybe another lake, maybe more natural barriers. But all of this becomes unlocked to us easily without me fearing for our life if we get artillery. And I want artillery. You know, just a few cannons here and there will give us the ability to do so much. But in order to research artillery, we need utility, as well as a bunch of other researches I haven't gotten around to. Utility requires us to make processing units, flying robot frames, and low-density structures. The flying robot frames are something we've already proved we can make. Low-density structure similar is not that difficult of a material. The processing units, however, require sulfuric acid and to be assembled via an assembler. Not easy. But we'll figure out something. More importantly is we want to be able to improve our ability to build factories. We kind of just built this one manually, but now we need to mass produce factory elements. Hence why my past self was like, dude, we need a mall. And I do agree. We do need a mall. Let's build one. What's this mall going to be like? Where are we putting it? I think the idea was to put it here. It doesn't give us much space in the grand scheme of things, and it maybe gets in the way of this stone mine if we want. I think we might actually want. Stone will be important. However, of all the territories we own so far, it seems like the least likely to have construction in the future. This area here might also be good. It's even got electricity running into it. Though it does have a lot of awkward cliff in the way. We can get around that, though. I built an explosives factory. And then I can build cliff explosives with that if I had grenades. And I don't have grenades. I need coal for grenade. Oh, it's a giant mess of things. I need everything at all times. You may notice, if you are new here, that the pixel grid on the top of the screen, which there's an internal debate over what we should actually name it, is a giant colorful pattern. This does not have to last. You have the power, as a person who exists, to change it. You have the power to alter reality to your own desires. You can make those pixels be whatever you want. And all you have to do is redeem the channel reward thingy in the bottom left of your chat menu, or wherever it is, depending on what device you're using. You will see some options there. Predominantly burst noise, data injection, system crack. Basically all the ones that are in all caps with underscores in between words. You can use those to alter reality of that grid of pixels. Quint wants to call it Excels. I want to call it Exposition. We've been calling it place.exe up to this point. We're just very indecisive, you know? I feel like I really need some sort of automated or just passive description saying what that is, because I think people will show up and just be like, oh, that's a very weird pattern you have on top of your screen for decorative purposes. It seems kind of a weird, but okay. And they won't realize that it's some sort of interactive element. Maybe it needs like text nearby it telling people that, oh, hey, this is a thing, you can use it. Maybe I should put it above where the chat sits. Like, make the chat shorter, and then put, like, a description of what that is. Something simple, like, redeem channel points to change the colors. Or something. Anyway, I've just been running around doing nothing. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to build cliff explosives, right? And then run down south. We're going to clear those cliffs of cliff. And then try and build a mall in it. There's also a bit of tree. So, we need to start thinking exactly what we want in the mall. First and foremost, I think we need to rebuild our inserter factory. Maybe even expand it a little. I need more grenades. There's some forest here. Also, what are you doing, past self? There's a rail here. You just let a rail exist. Okay, I won't worry about these diagonal ones, but these spotted ones here seem like the... Wait a minute, those aren't cliffs, they're rocks! This actually makes things much easier. I thought I was dealing with cliff faces that you can't destroy unless you use cliff explosives and nothing else. But no, they're rocks. I can just dig these. Uh-oh. Inventory's full. I have an idea. Gonna store all the wood in this car. So let's start clearing out the forest for the trees. Need more grenade. Same system as before. Chain in, rail out. That's just industry standard. You gotta love a fragmentation grenade's ability to just destroy a forest. Very cleanly and efficiently. Alright, we're out of rail. Not anymore, we aren't. I don't really know why I prefer roundabouts compared to the, like the leading competitor. I obviously don't use them everywhere, but I do use them default for my intersections. Like I've got a 3-way up here, I've got a 4-way over here. I think the main thing I like about them is their ability to let you do a U-turn. So it's good for manual driving and also for just not knowing what you're doing. It's a very nice default option. That said, I will endeavor to make this a proper 3-way intersection. Just to be different. Probably more rail efficient this way. Chain in. Rail out. If you remember chain in, rail out, then you'll do good. It'll take you far. That's a little bit of extra material. Now we need to start thinking about how we're going to lay out this mall. And that's going to require us to think about what we need and remember to actually need it. Step 1, get some resources from the resources bank. Get some iron, we got some copper, let's get some steel just for some completeness. Okay, so because there's a giant lake below us, I want all inputs to the factory to originate from this intersection going down, because this intersection going down is very unlikely to be turned into a throughway at any point. So all trains will enter and leave from this intersection. So if a train goes south from here, then it is implied that they are going to the mall. I need more grenade. So we act to that effect. Let me in. There we go. Yep, that's looking vaguely correct. Good, now we have our input rail. So they'll come down here, somewhere, park, drop off their materials, and leave. To ensure that as little is in my way as possible, just moving the power poles up a little. Because the mall has no output, we can consider the output to just simply be put as far away from everything else as possible. Which in my mind means over here. This factory will be designed to work with the base raw materials. Iron, copper, oil, maybe plastic can be brought in, sulfur. Darn it, there's considerations to be made. Hate when I have to consider. Yeah, that's out of the way. I can get the electric poles for now. At least when measured against my own interest in doing that. So, what do we need? What are the outputs? Fast inserter, long-handed inserter, filter inserter, I want one of each for demonstration purposes. Okay. Stack inserter, stack filter inserter, medium electric, big electric, substation, rail, rail station, rails, rail signal, chain signal, Okay, I can't spoof that. But mining drill, furnace, assembly machine. We're going to want trains. We're going to want cargo wagons. Maybe chemical plants, pump jacks, oil refineries. Boilers may be useful, but I think more general purpose would be the flamethrower turret. And I think the easiest way to go about this is to partition them into their own districts. Like, we'll have an inserter district, we'll have a electricity district, which can also make solar panels and accumulators, because why not? We'll have a rail district, assembly machines and furnaces, chemical plants, oil refineries. They can all go together probably. The mining drills and the pump jacks. It'll depend a little bit on what's required to build each. Let's start with the simplest possible one, which is conveniently the one we've already made once. The inserter district. So what do we need for inserters? Regular inserters will not be an output, but they will have to be an ingredient we make. Long-handed inserters are built with inserters, plate, and gear. Fast inserters are built with inserter, plate, and circuit. Filter inserters is made with fast inserter and other stuff I didn't bother to check with electronic circuit. Stack inserter is made with fast and electronic circuit, advanced circuit, and gear wheel. Stack filter inserter is stack inserter with more electronic circuits. Very good, very good. One more for demonstration purposes. So this is the sort of life cycle. We are going to build inserters, which will be put into the long-handed and fast. Then the fast will be pushed on for the filter and the stack. And then the stack will make a dang stack filter. But we also want to keep around fast inserters and stack inserters just as is. So we kind of want to split them. Unfortunately, we don't have splitters. That's not a technology we're entitled to. But really, this isn't complicated. Like, if we're just talking the raw assembly machines needed. Three. We could imagine it being this long, fast filter, stack filter, stack inserter. Hello, Lark, how are you? Congratulations, you fixed it. Now, behold as I ruin it again. Get wrecked. Perform chaotic action, darn you. Now, this assembly completely ignores the desire, well, the requirements of each particular factory. This needs circuits, it needs inserters, this needs gear. I think we can actually separate these also by their required ingredient. Like, forming this like this, all of these top three right here, these require gears, and they're the only ones that require gears. Electric circuits need to go to literally everything else that isn't the long-handed. Plates only go to the left three. And advanced circuits only goes to the stack inserter. Funny noise. Hee hee. Oh, good. You're up to something. Looking forward to see how that turns out. But we don't have to do this as inserters chained up together. And it's probably best that we don't. Because what we really want is a mall. The tricky bit is that some of the things we want are both input, or like intermediate ingredient and output at the same time. Let me look at what we did before. Yeah, we just had regular, long-handed, filter, and fast. We didn't even bother with stack or stack filter. Which makes sense, they're expensive. Okay. Okay. I think we will simply do this again. And then, if we want to make a stack extension here, we can do that. That's a little DLC expansion pack. So I'm just gonna... This will feed into those two, then this will feed into this, and eventually it'll feed into that if needed. Okay. Then all of the inputs can come in from the left. Just as a reminder, what inputs do we need? Iron plate, iron gear, electronic circuit. That's it. That's 3 of them. We're going to whitelist fast inserters. And you're going to put them in here. Now this will be a cargo wagon. Then you can make stack, you can make filter, and the only things we need to put in here are regular electric and advanced electric. This'll work for some definition of working. We have nuclear power. That's pretty good. If we could use it. We can't. So it's actually just okay. It means we won't have to get it later. Now what? Let's just get the production science and utility sciences researched so that we can actually manufacture them. Even if we don't have plans to now, it'll just save us time in the future. Our manufacturing has not caught up with our research. Like we've done the research, but we don't have the infrastructure yet. So we need electronic circuits to come in here, as well as iron plate and iron gear. Iron plates. Am I really putting the inserter factory literally here? I'm not sure. Congratulations, you've managed to make high... I don't know what that sounded like through the microphone, but it sounded weird on my end. In my own internal voice area, it sounded like a lot more B's than P's and F's, but alright then. So those three enter. I could make just like an entire multi-coupled just collection of these rail lines. I think we've just invented modularity. So your iron plate, your iron gear, your electronic circuit. You'll all be shunted over as desired. I'm out of assembly machines, but I don't really care. I kind of want to just build a nuclear reactor just to brag about the fact that I have one, even if I have literally no fuel for it. I think that'd be fun. I just point it out to people like, hey, check it out, I have a nuclear reactor. And then just keep going so that they don't have time to realize that the nuclear reactor isn't doing a dang thing. That'd be great. If I do this, I start getting into like questions of alignment, so I won't. Oh, this is actually a real good way of doing it. Out of assembly machines. Fine, I'll pick up the one I used for demonstration earlier. Okay. You make the cable. You make the circuit. You make the gear. So, you know, assuming, aside from the fact that the, like, container values are ridiculous right now. This kind of works. Fast, long-handed. Another fast, another long-handed. And then just one filter. And then one more. I think I want more long-handeds than fast. We use a lot, well, I mean, now that I'm doing modularity, maybe I don't. It's hard to... It is difficult to make decision. You know what? We'll do 3 of those each. But I still only want one filter. We do not use a lot of filter. Then in here, we want fast inserters. Okay, so gear, circuit, advanced. Circuit. Okay, so just... Wait, you need a gear? No. Yeah, you did need gear. Okay. Gear. Circuit. Advanced. Then, like, 2 stack. And 1 stack filter. And then, unfortunately, we need to forward some more materials over here. Because it also needs gears. Alright, the solution to this is to give up on using just one substation, so that we can actually make some better decisions. Such as, for instance, moving some assemblers over here. Wrong one. Advanced circuits are always going to be a problem, but they don't have to be much of a problem. Cool brand new idea. Straight from my current location. We put them here. Now, this entire side here is open. We can now use it for stuff. In fact, this has given us much more open space. Ooh, I want to. I really want to. Trying to fit a lot here. The problem with trying to optimize this down to a single area here is that we don't have enough open lanes to bring in input. Like if that's a fast and that's a stack and this is a stack filter, and we try and just do that. The inputs we need for this have risen dramatically. But perhaps we can get around that with efficient locating. Because, like for instance, these three at the top are the ones that need... These three at the top are the ones that need inserters. Or the ones that need plate. These three on the top right are the ones that need gear. Which means we can separate out gear and plate from being ingredients to the factory if we just put them in directly. So then what's that leave us? Electronic circuit and advanced electronic circuit. We can get those from anywhere. So we could imagine two lines, one being electronic circuit and one being advanced circuit, going in. We can imagine iron coming in from above, fueling these factories. We can imagine gears over here, fueling these three. And then we're set. So then these would be electric, advanced. We need inserter for the interim ingredient. Shunt long-handed over here. Shunt stack, or shunt fast over there. Then we'll have filter, then we'll have stack, and then we'll have stack filter. And that's it. I do believe our mall will need one or several circuit factories, but I believe it's fine if we just make the gears on site. So what would that look like? Iron going into there. The substation can't go any higher, so let's actually do this. This makes the gear. This goes to here. The only problem is that it can't reach the iron. And this is a problem because of the alignment. That's absolutely fine, though. We can make a new alignment. Okay, now how do we split this so that some goes into the gears? I mean, I guess the answer is just do that. It ain't pretty, but it's functional. And that's all we can really ask for. Filters are set, so the idea is that we have all of our inputs being input, and they go to where they're needed, except I actually have an off by one error here. Oops. Is it a concern that I've set this up so that the iron, the copper, well, the iron and the circuits have the same alignment horizontally? Maybe. Anyway, we got utility. Let's get production. So, this is our first mall. I'll leave it here for now, but I do intend to move it. Let's start getting some stations involved. Actually, let's copy. Let's cut and paste this. Love having these little robot guys. So here's the station plan, at least to start. They're all going to enter vertically. And then sort of park in sequence with each other, if that makes sense. What am I'm missing iron. Where's my car that I drove here in? Oh, drove the wrong way. The fact that we are using advanced circuits in our factory means that we will need at minimum 3 train stations. Very likely more. But last series, like in the training, we learned a lot about how to parallel park a bunch of trains. And we can do even better here because they're going to be bi-directional. We could theoretically put these parallel to each other instead of in like one contiguous straight line. But I want to keep... throughput high. Entry. Oh, that's not good. It's snapping to the wrong one. A brief minor inconvenience with... Come on. With rail alignment. Putting rails a bit too close together causes problems. There we go. So these will be our 3 trains. For now. Especially considering we only need 2 right now. So how do we mark this as the mall? Item on ground, perhaps? Item request. Me? A cliff? Compilotron? Ensembler? Let's go item on ground. And then make it... This will be item on ground. Copper. You will be, in a similar vein, item on ground, iron. And that last one, I got no idea. It's a question of whether we want to do refining here or refining elsewhere. I think the answer is we want to do refining elsewhere. Which means that we need to respect what actual oil byproducts we want to deal with here. In my mind, that means that we are going to need a train to bring in plastic and also very likely sulfur or sulfuric acid, whichever comes first. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. What's sulfur used for? Is it used as a direct ingredient by anything? Answer, yeah. It's used for chemical science, but more importantly, it's used for explosives. And manufacturing explosives might be... Well... What are explosives used for? Artillery shells, rockets, tank shells, cliff explosives, those fragmentation grenades, and, like, landmines. I do want artillery technology. And so I do want to manufacture artillery shells. But maybe this mall doesn't have to be the armory. Maybe we can have a separate factory for militant stuff. I mean, we certainly don't need the sulfur for the blue science, because this isn't a science facility. So what do we need it for? Answer, sulfuric acid. What's sulfuric acid used for? Processing units and batteries. So if we accept that we don't need sulfur, we throw out all the sulfur byproducts or sulfur resultants, then we don't need sulfur at this factory. We can bring in sulfuric acid directly. So that'll be what our, now 4, I guess, trains can be. Sulfur? No. Copper, iron, sulfuric acid, and plastic. If it benefits our technology, we could also bring in a steel train just to, you know, pad out our manufacturing a little bit. Though perhaps the steel train will need to be brought in sideways. There we are. Because plastic is used earlier than sulfuric acid, I'll make the plastic train here. Plastic station. And you will be... Sulfuric acid. Well, actually, I shouldn't use the sulfuric acid symbol. I should probably use the sulfuric acid unbarreling system symbol. There. Sulfuric acid, plastic. Okay, excellent. This is the benefit of having requirements. Particularly having good requirements. As opposed to garbage requirements that make you tie your hand behind your back and do some unnecessary extra steps. So... put the iron forward. Wait, this is copper, sorry. Wrong rail. The wiggle strats have been proving useful. Okay. That's the station. Let's make the train. We have the trains. We have production science. Okay. Useless, useless, not very helpful. Not very helpful, not very helpful. Not my style. Where are the scientists that get us close to artillery? They're all military sciences. I don't want to invoke the wrath of the biters unnecessarily. So instead, we'll just get something of the empty platitude variety. Mining productivity. Okay. I'm going to use my patented, it's not actually patented, it's not even mine, zigzag strategy for making circuits. So then you insert iron here and plastic here. Oh, that's a little awkward. The plastic's far away. Actually, that's a good question. What exactly is plastic used for? We can do that research as well. Advanced circuit and low density structure. Well, because of its advanced circuit use, it'd probably be good to have it nearby here. Is low-density structure used for any manufacturing or any mall component? I was just looking at the Factorio wiki, and also I think I accidentally muted for all of that. But I fixed it. So it seems like plastic or sorry, low density. Plastic is used for low density structure. Low density structure is used for a bunch of personal components, rocket and satellite parts, and Spidertron. None of this is mall material. So we don't have to worry about low density structure as an ingredient to be made in this mall. So what else is plastic used for? Explosive cannon shells. This is not an armory. Cannon shells. This is not an armory. Advanced circuit. Which means that to a certain degree of is actually correct, and I'm stating this as fact, the only thing we need plastic for is advanced circuits. Plastic is therefore a purely intermediate circuit thing. Yeah, it's a circuit thing. So there's no reason to put the plastic train very far away from the copper train. Or at least very far away from the advanced circuit production. Then why bother putting it over here? You are now the petroleum train. Actually, sorry, the sulfur train. What's sulfur used for? Battery could be useful. Battery is actually a very like specific edge. Okay, flying robot frame as well. Fair enough. Laser turret. This isn't an armory, but the accumulators is the only other thing. So accumulators, batteries, sulfuric acid, but that's still just like one element. Processing units are used in a lot more things. But do we care about any of the things they're used for? Artillery target, personal battery, discharge, efficiency modules, speed modules, productivity modules, leg, personal laser. Station, you're doing a lot of clicking at me. If we don't build the level 2 and 3 modules here, we could get away with not having them. So if we don't need processing units, then we don't need sulfuric acid for processing units. And if we don't need sulfuric acid for processing units, then we only need sulfuric acid for batteries. And the only reason we need it for batteries is for flying robot frame, which is used for, well, it's used for construction robot and logistics robot. But we don't even need that because we're at the maximum of 10. We can't mass produce those flying robots anyway. So we don't need battery. And if we don't need sulfuric acid for processing units, we don't need it for batteries, and we don't need it for uranium or mining, because obviously we're not mining uranium at the mall, that'd get in the way of the food court. That means we don't need this 4th train at all. just completely unnecessary. This is actually a big freaking deal. We've just proven that the only things that this factory needs is copper, iron, steel, but we make it from iron, and plastic. Nothing else is necessary for what we're building here, which is the factory. Actually, let's not get too carried away with ourselves. We do need rails, and I didn't think about rails in my math here. Rails is stone. So that adds stone to the list of things we need. If we want to build nuclear reactor components, we're also going to need concrete, and concrete is like stone, water, and iron ore. So there's room to expand here. But ultimately, we only need those 3 trains. Even the plastic is suspect. Now, part of me wants to argue maybe we should just not bring a copper train and instead just get the individual components we need, like the electronic circuits. But we do need copper plate. We do need copper plate because we need to build substations and big electric poles, and those take copper plate straight up because copper wire is not, or copper cable is not powerful enough. Also, the medium electric pole. And considering this is a mall, it's reasonable that we'd want to just build them all on site. Let's do the popular ratio thing. Well, no, though, this is reasonable. There are plenty of things in this factory that require electronic circuits alone. This is a fair concession to make. Oh, that just works, huh? Cool. So these all go here. Plastic is all we need. 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 I can fix this, though. The idea here is we'll have the plastic train go this way. If you're wondering what that extra track off the side is for, it's going to eventually be for the stone train, if we ever make one. First off, change your name to Plastic. Then copy paste you over here. Then I don't know, that's it, you're Plastic now. Then what could this station be for? Steel, if we want to mass produce it? If so, we don't need the station here now. Why have it take up space? Discard that. Discard this. Good, good. Next step is the... Oh, let's actually, next step is get the iron over here. Good. And slap that here. So now iron will go over here, fuel the assembly machines here, and then it'll just keep going. Great. So that's electronic circuit. I don't have advanced electronic circuits, or advanced circuit, yet, but I don't need it. Let's just remember what this looks like. I choose to build our first factory. Our first mall. I choose to build it here-ish. There's enough room to make advanced electronics over there. I want to keep this sort of flush with the region so that we have enough room for other things, so... Here. Well, we're certainly missing a few parts. Substation, 3 assembly machines. And that should be it. But we are also missing a cargo wagon. I'll wait. Cargo wagon, if you please. Why aren't these getting power? Oh, because the northern substation also doesn't exist. Darn it. Typically, the northern substation exists. Well, I mean, I don't need all that. I just need a little this. A little that. We have ourselves a factory and mall. Except for I gotta do these again. Okay. So it was regular. It was advanced. It was a single inserter. It was then 3 fast. 3 long. A filter. 2 stack. And a stack filter. And boom, there's the factory. Then we connect the electronic circuits out of there. That'll go up and over. Reach here, start fueling things. Meanwhile, the iron is already exactly where it needs to be. And that's our inserter mall. I guess now I should rip up the old inserter mall. It's fair. It served its purpose. I'm proud of it. It did a good job. Ouch. Give me those. You, as a factory, are still operational. I should leave you as such. You are full of things. Astonished I had enough room in my inventory for all that. Beep beep, time to start backfilling this factory. You. Well, it's certainly doing something. Won't actually work because we don't have any iron. But it's a start. Let's tell it to wait till full and then go to here. Wait till empty. We also want, as we, expand our rail empire, a dedicated fueling station. That way, trains will, once they're done with their tasks, go to the fueling station to make sure that they don't run out of fuel. We could have several, but right now I think it's fine if we just have one that's vaguely central to everything. And with a decent waiting line. And for right now, I think the best option... Well, if we want an infinite fuel, unlimited fuel forever, the best option would be solid fuel via oil. And from crude oil directly. Well, okay, we can't do from crude oil directly, but from petroleum then. I want it to be, dead simple. Straight from pump jack to refinery to chemical plant, inserted into a thing that stores it. The good news is that it makes it simple and infinite and we don't have to worry about it ever again. The bad news is that means that our sort of metaphorical gas stations can only really be in one place, where oil already exists. There are exactly 3 oil fields that we know of. And what I'm suggesting will make them less efficient. Forever. Oh, right, the wood. Just. I'm gonna build it, though. I think it's too good of an idea to ignore. Oh, I'm missing steel. Okay, what do I need? Pump jack's already there. Oil refinery. I need one. Chemical plant, already have. Cargo wagon to hold the solid fuel. And then a whole bunch of inserters just to put them in a train. We're also going to want a bunch of extra stations and a bunch of extra rail, so that if multiple trains want to refuel at the same time, they won't get in each other's way. Actually, do I need stations for that, or I can just use, like, chain signals? I didn't think that through. I don't need all these stations. I'll need them eventually, but just I don't need them immediately. Okay, the oil train just left. That'll mean we won't accidentally pollute the system by building a fuel station. What will the fuel station be fueled by? Do I have any grenades? Yes, I do! Ouch! I keep feeling like Minecraft logic exists, where if I get hurt too much, my armor will lose durability. I gotta remind myself that that isn't real. Okay, let's do this. Oil refinery. Go there. Basic oil processing. Chemical plant. Make the solid fuel. The literal station can be right here. Oh, just dump. My car out of the way. Hey, we can fit the whole thing in our inventory now. Great. So. There's our train. And we want it to leave. Now, as for all of the other trains, we're going to do this kind of thing. Oh, we've reached the wood limit. I'll build like 5 for now. Ugh. Oh, we need more rail. You kidding me? I just gotta drop stuff on the floor at this point. I have nowhere near enough rail. But the idea is sound. Where's my car? Oh yeah, I picked it up. That's why my inventory's full. I just need a lot more steel to do it. Let's not go that way. Where's my engine factory? Oh, right here. Beep, beep. Beedly deep. I'm car. I'm my drive. I'm drive man. Okay, now that we've parked our car in the middle of the tracks, we can get to business. How long do these have to be to fit one long train? This long. Weird optical illusion made me feel like these rails weren't aligned. But they are. Oops. So I've spontaneously turned this into a roundabout for reasons unknown to you. Well, that's annoying. Fixable, though. Oops. plans to do something like this. And then instead of having these turn, these will just go straight until they have to turn. I fully trust that this is not the most efficient way to do this. But it's the way I ended up doing it, so, you know, it counts for something. Good, good. So the fuel train, or the fuel station, is operational. Now it's just gotta fill up on fuel. Which, might take a while. Technically speaking, it doesn't have to be solid fuel. As long as solid fuel is available. Where'd I put my car? Oh, right. I left it on the tracks. I remember doing that. So if I do this... like, it'll work temporarily. And it'll just, you know, transition out to solid fuel whenever the wood's gone. Oh, actually, this is a... this has the potential to be stuck. So I'm going to... explicit this. This one does wood. This one does solid fuel. That way, even if it picks up one but can't use the other, the train will not break. There. Now, every train that exists needs to be updated with this logic. Oh, wait, I need a name for this place. It can't just be Baser. I mean, it could just be Baser, but I want a name for gas stations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 trains can fit here. Let's see, what do we name you? You will be something definitely fuel-related. Small scorch mark, perhaps? Tile ghost? Entity ghost? Crude oil? Wood? Coal? Solid fuel? Steam? Crude oil? White signal? Dot signal? 2? Each? Spitter spawner? Big sandy rock? We have so many options. None of them seem very helpful. Because, like, for a lot of these that represent fuel, they also represent the material themselves, which could be useful somewhere. We want something that people will look at and be like, yep, this is where fuel happens. You know what? Let's get meta with it. I think that's actually their best option. This is going to be the locomotive station. Okay, now every train that exists needs to be updated. At station, locomotive, inactivity. Okay, next up. Add condition, add locomotive, inactivity. The inactivity is just so that there's time for it to refuel up. Done. Lubricant logic, not to be touched. This train has no logic whatsoever, but given its position, this is the copper train. So we want copper, full, go here, empty, inactivity. Now we have the lubricant train itself. All this requires is add inactivity condition. Next up, we have the other copper train. Condition inactivity. Next up, the old iron train. Add refuel inactivity. Finally, the new iron train. Add station inactivity. Well, let's see any of these trains do that. Are any of these trains about to bring into action? Doesn't look like it. What about you? No. I should probably also change the iron stations to have a train limit of 1 each. And the copper. Just to be respectful to my actual limitations. And sanity check. Done. 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 Good. Now I'm going to get back into my car, which I can no longer fuel because I gave all the wood to the train station. I've got some left. Too far. And we can put just a little coal. Just a little coal in these trains. And now we can see them operate. In fact, in a desire to see if the train station's working that we just put down, let's send them to get fuel. Well, it's working, I think. You have a very awkward triple mix of fuels, but it's working. To expedite this, I'm just going to dump fuel into the rest of these. Excellent. Beautiful, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Everything's working, at least with regards to that. This station, which isn't even a station anymore. It's on its last leg. He's got 2.5 resources left. He's got 4. But, like, it's not going to keep pace anymore. Tragic. Well, I suppose all that's left is to build more mall. Let's just make sure I have the resources for that. And more iron. In fact, I'll take the iron from down here just to ensure it's not cutting into our supply. So. What other malls do we need? Mall for substations would be good, but that requires advanced circuit production, which we don't have yet. Maybe we should build the advanced circuit production itself. Possible. You hold up. Not well. Oh my goodness, the factory is running. I didn't think that through. I never put the limitation on electronic circuits. Make it that big. For now. As we find more uses for it, we'll obviously increase it. Let's do the... I want the factory that builds assembly machines. But that's a little complicated. Especially because I don't know what to pair it with. Pairing it with furnaces might seem like a good idea, but we need stone for that. Mining drills are a possibility. Yeah, okay. Let's build that plastic train then. So, advanced circuit requires plastic, cable, electronic circuit. Very simple. Will be the plastic alignment, or the cable alignment. So it's this. That's awkward. No, this will work. Do it like that. Another substation, please. Good. Finally, the plastic. Well, that's the plastic train. There's only one question left. Where are we getting the freaking plastic? What even is plastic? Like, philosophically. It's coal and petroleum. Getting a plastic train is actually going to be a pain. Especially since we're already overloading our oil production. We need this oil field. Like, a forward military advancement is necessary. I think the northern radar has reached its limit. Yeah, we need a forward base. I want a radar like here at this lake. Okay, we shift focus slightly. Contemplate military. Really ought to invest in gates somewhere. Alright, this is going to very explicitly be a secret, sneaky recon base. Do I got any laser turrets? I do. I want more radar. This is going to put so much strain on my power. But you know what? It's worth it. And radar. We are going to get intel so fast. We are going to ruin our electricity supply. Oh yeah, there's the radar. It's not that bad. The electric furnaces are really what's killing us. Oh, time to head home. Oh yeah, look at that intel. We're learning. I just had a crazy idea. What if we didn't transport oil at all? What if we just used a giant collection of oil refineries into chemical plants to immediately convert things into plastic and sulfur? Well, we need the water. No path. What? Oh! I have made a crucial mistake. The oil trains cannot go from the refueling station to the... Oh, hello, Rose. How are you? I didn't notice you read anything. I'm sorry. It would appear that the pixel grid has gone into sleep mode. Let me just fix that real quick. And I'll reimburse you for that thing you did by just doing it myself with all the infinite money I have. I don't exactly know what causes the quote-unquote sleep mode of this thing to activate. All I know is that's very annoying. Excellent. You are the exact agent of chaos that I was hoping for using this thing. Everyone else has been way too nice about it. MX Paint and Lark Diet were both just like, I don't want to mess with the pretty design, but no. Now we have what we need, and what we need is to break things. There we go. That's a wacky little interchange there. Just a real quick crossover event. Good, good. I kind of have a very Total Biscuit Shoutcraft Kings problem, where I want to invoke violence and people, like, being at odds with each other. But everyone's way too kind and polite to actually do it. So I have to, like, constantly be providing for, like, the hype and the tension and stuff, because no one else will do it. Good luck on making the Great Wall of Rose in the middle. What was I doing? Right, I want a plastic train, but I can't make a plastic train. Because we have nowhere near enough plastic to train. But what if we did? we did. Can I fit another train station here awkwardly? Yes. Alright, cool. We're gonna make the most bootleg train ever. Or bootleg station, at least. A little more. Da-da-da-do-do-do. Wait, why do I need 4 trains? I only need 2. Alright, thank you. Have a good hop out. A question I ask into the void. What does Twitch consider people chatting at the same time to mean? What's the metric they use? How do they decide if 2 chat messages are happening at the same time or at separate times? Is it like just unique chatters over an entire stream? Is it within a certain period of time? Is there a frequency involved? Do you have to do like the weird reply system? I don't know. I bring it up because when I look at like the achievements for being a Twitch affiliate, which is weird to think about because this is more like a job than a game that I play. I play the game on the stream, but like the streaming part of it's like the job part. It says like what I'm almost at, and one of the things I'm almost at is the building a community achievement, and that requires, among other things that I've already accomplished, 5 people to chat at the same time, which has not happened. So I'm wondering what qualifies, just so I can get that squared away. Oh, right, the train. So, this is the plastic train. It goes here, and it gets plastic. So I'll make your station system first. Step 1, you go here, wait till full. Step 2, you go to the mall, wait till empty. Step 3, you get fuel, wait till inactive. Simple, efficient, and vaguely sane. So now we just need to give you the plastic. I also strongly believe that you do not need to be full. I'm going to give you just a single stack to work with. Where's the oil train? Is it still there? Oh. I broke it. I broke it. I broke a thing. I have performed a crime. I did not realize that the inserter here was still needed. Okay, we're good. I got scared for a bit. even if it's not strictly useful, I think or efficient, I guess I say. I think this little train station holding area over here, combined with this weird funky little roundabout, looks cool. How's our intel going? Another oil field up to the north with barely anything in it. Good to know, I think. There's also coal. That's helpful. But I am worried that we have still not found any more lake to use as a natural barrier. Meaning we may have to make an entirely artificial wall. Which I'm not happy about. I don't like making those. They're very long and tedious and boring. Ow. How you doing, by the way? Activate. So now you'll be properly dealt with soon enough. How long does it take for, wait. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Yep, I know exactly what I did wrong. I did not update the dang signals. This oil train has had such a terrible time today. It couldn't get to the oil station. It couldn't fill up with oil because I ruined the inserters, and then it couldn't get back here. You know what? I'm impatient. You're getting speed modules. Congratulations. Level 2 requires processing. Getting there. Getting there. Good, good. The plastic train is ready. You're gonna start a war about it? You're gonna war about this lark? I feel like I gotta be like the wrestling hype person that gets the individual wrestlers to like argue at each other. Like, I feel like that's my job. With regards to the grid up there. Gonna do a little argument, gonna have a little war. Come on, you know you want to have a little war. Bit of warfare. The advanced circuits are being made. Cargo wagon. Something like that. Okay. Oops. Doing a little bit of off by frog. There we go. This factory can now build stack filter inserters and stack inserters. So I'm putting them on the hotbar. You are empty. I know why you are empty. No, I don't. Oh, you're out of plastic. Oh, wow. You actually burn through plastic quite quickly. The fuel trains are working! The fuel station, I mean. That means the train just went back to plastic. Next up to consider is a steel train. Or we could just double down with the iron and smelt it here. I don't think that's so bad an idea. This is a mall, after all. Clear to me this is not enough plastic, so I'm going to upgrade it from 1 stack to 4. I may also want to add a cargo wagon at the plastic station for storage. So that it can accumulate plastic even when it's not here. You're wondering, does it really have to be a cargo wagon? Yes. Here's plastic train. You know what? I'm going to override it in this instance just to give it some time to rebuild. How many steel furnace can I make? Mining productivity 2 is done. Mining productivity 3 has way too many sciences involved. We could start getting some... Well, no, actually, we can't. We don't have the research. Well, we don't have the production to get the science. We can get productivity and efficiency 2 modules, though they're not the most popular. We will need them eventually. For the rocket, at least. So it's progress. Okay, the radar has shown nothing in the way of ocean. It's just a desert out there. Maybe we could run with some sort of outpost system instead of having a dedicated perimeter of things. We just make our station and defend it as the best we can. Hold on, there's trees here. Like right over here, there's a bundle of trees. Does that imply water? Moisture? The end of the desert? I'm not sure. Oh, there's more iron over here. That's cool. Like, we defend this wall, and that's good. But then what? $7 million. Best iron we've seen so far. I'm not happy about this because this is the most... I'm not good at the military side of this game. I don't like going out and shooting stuff aggressively. I just like building the wall and defending it. It's what I know to do. What kind of terrain is that? I'm going to wait one more loop because it's going to reveal stuff over here and I want to see what that terrain is. Because maybe it's sand for the beach. Because there's a lake there, maybe. Oh. Oh, no, that's like... That's some death craggly. Ugh. This does not bode well. And the plastic train's gone. Fantastic. Almost full, though, so that's good. How's the inserters going? Stack filters are full. Now it's just working on stack inserters, but it ran out of advanced circuits. No, it hasn't. It's just going slowly. Not bad. So what am I doing here? I'm building another iron depot. Just so I can, like, cross through here while still having good throughput overall. But I'll lower the capacity just because it doesn't have to be another storage site. From here, though, I've sort of trapped myself out of copper convenience because there's all these inserters going between there. The solution, weirdly enough, is to change the alignment. To this. Oh, wait, no, you don't go there. You're sweet. Well, that ain't good. Horizontal alignment was actually mandated. We can fix this, though. Yep, that'll do it. Going out of here, the only thing that matters is keeping the horizontal alignment good. Which we did. Station, if you please. Okay, now we have copper here. The moment we have steel, we can make the electricity mall. So it's going to be copper plate, steel plate, and iron stick, copper plate, steel plate, and iron stick, copper plate, steel plate, advanced circuit. Easy. I remember there being 4 assembly machines in an older variant of this I've built before. But I think that's because I also built the advanced electronic circuits on site. And since I'm not doing that now, there's only 3. I'm going to attempt to provide some semblance of expressiveness to this factory. I'm going to have all the outputs of malls be on the far right end along this vertical line. That way I'll know which cargo wagons are for the mall and which aren't. Of course, I need one for the iron pipe. Four of these. 4 entities are missing. Yeah, okay, it's just these. Just this. EXC. Now that explains it. The alignment for the malls is different than the alignment for the rest of the factory with the substations. That's annoying. I'll survive. So you'll be Iron Stick. Get in there. So, Iron Stick. Advanced Electronic. Steel. Copper plate. Well, no, we don't need Advanced Electronic. We just need copper and steel. Because only one of these needs Advanced Electronic, and I can decide which one. So you don't connect to that at all. One of you's copper, one of you's steel. Oh. Big substation. Oh, no. I completely forgot about accumulators. Stop. Accumulators are made with batteries. And I just finished. Oh, okay. Oh, no, we do need batteries. We do need batteries because we need accumulators. We need accumulators because we could have electricity. This is supposed to also have solar panels and accumulators. Oh, great. Great. Okay. What does this mean? It means we're gonna need a battery train eventually. It means that this factory can only deal with electricity transmission, not production. That's unfortunate. Okay, so in theory that works, except it doesn't work at all because that's not where the iron's from. All right. We'll do substations there. Medium here. Big here. And then finally, we need the advanced electric circuit line. I believe it's the same alignment. No, 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 no. This is not it. This is not correct at all. This is not the advanced circuit line. This is the copper line. We do need advanced circuits, but they go in here. Well, it's turning into a mess, but it's functional. Productivity module 2 is done. Let's do efficiency 2. There's probably a better way to logically determine if a train needs to go and stop for fuel, but... That reminds me, I should probably also start removing the fueling logic from all the things that aren't a regular... that aren't the gas station. Because they're no longer required. Now that all trains go through the fuel network. That should save us some inserters and coal. This actually removes the entire coal line up to here. Because the only thing that coal is used for over here is plastic. Wild. Sorry, I'm in deep contemplation. I'm trying to think of a way to sort of effectively parallelize oil processing, or at least modularize it. Because this sort of detanking system means that we can only ever run one refinery. Not that it matters much, considering we don't even have much to begin with. Rapid oil processing is desired. Oh! Water! There's water! At the edge of the world. Okay, this calls for an expedition. This calls for an expedition. I want to see how far it goes. To what extent. And to help defend us, I'm bringing Bullet. I'm going to drive out there to the edge of the world, and we're going to see what we find. And if I can cheese it, I'll extend the line of electric poles. I don't think I have enough electric poles to do that. We're going to make the most forward base ever. Beep, beep. Wait a minute. What am I seeing? We've ran out of power. Why did we run out of power? Is it the furnaces? They have been on the rise recently. Great, 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 great. We are in brownout conditions. Hey, how you doing? Doing alright, I guess. Need more steel and iron, understandable. Well, good luck with that. It doesn't have to be fast, it doesn't have to be in ratio, it's a mall. It's meant to sit there and just accumulate stuff over a long period of time. Dang that rock. Darn it. Okay. The plan. Go to the radar station, the forward recon base. Extend the electric poles out to the northwest till we get to that body of water and replace down the recon station. Dang, these rocks. Okay. We want to see that. We want to see it. Okay, how's this gonna look? It seems like I can mostly go directly northeast. As long as I destroy whatever singular thing is by the coal, we'll be good. Okay, how do I get up here? Easy. Head towards the coal, then go northeast. Efficiency module 2 is done. Let's not get any more science, just to let the factory maintain itself, because it is running out of electricity. Is that a worm? It's probably a worm. It's a worm. It is no longer a worm. Okay, oh, there's water all the way down here. I think we've done it. We found the next lake. Oh, I'm very happy about this. My biases towards playstyle are very pleased by this news. I'm gonna cheese it so that all the radars are operating at the same time. That'll be great. 2, 3, 4. Now we power. Should start here. Well, now that we have Recon Base 2 built, let's start driving around, see what we can't see with our own 2 eyes. I'm stuck. Okay, I'm no longer stuck. Oh, it's beautiful. This was... Okay. I know that the best case scenario had been destroyed long ago just by incremental knowledge we were gaining about from the radar. But from, like, Recon 2 onwards, this is basically the best case scenario. Like, of the remaining scenarios. A giant lake that not only exists, but extends south. Not much intel we can gather from this area. This does unfortunately look like the northernmost point of this lake. Thank you, repair. Okay, so look at this now. This is much, much, much better. Okay, like, we still have so much we have to destroy and secure, but now it feels like it's securable. We have choke points we can fight towards. I'm gonna go a little risky. I want to go further and west. Because... Okay. Here's the dream. The dream scenario is this lake up here and this lake down here are the same lake. That this is just a little peninsula and that the water actually goes around it like this. I need to see this. I need to know. Even if it doesn't, it's still probably going to be an excellent choke point. Oh, actually, what's this doing? This area back here is empty so far. Oh, hostile. Big base, large base. I'm not even looking at my driving, I'm looking at the map mostly. There's some uranium, there's some trees, there's some oil. Very nice. There's an enemy encampment. Okay, at this point, I think it's very safe to say we do not have the dream scenario. I'm actually a little lost. Oh, we've gone very south. Okay, it's clear to me that this is one lake and then there's this lake over here. But this changes the incentives wildly. Like, the focus has shifted. I'm beginning to see where lines can be drawn. Dang, these rocks. Okay, how do I leave? Diagonally through the iron patch. Don't mind me, I'm just existing. Ugh. Just a little down, just to see what it's like. Darn the trees. I should upgrade to a tank. It's slower, but I won't be stopped so much. Okay. Now that I'm in the middle of nowhere, let's check the map. So this is what we're dealing with. So here's what I'm thinking. The north horizontal is still a pain, because it seems like the best we can do is from here all the way across to here. That might not be true. We could have a lake up here that could help split it apart. Over here, though, is very good news. Strategically. Just as far as strategic placement goes. If we decide to go defensively, we could make walls going from like up here to down here, giving us this whole area free for factory development. And also a little bit of coal. If we go aggressive, though, we can push into this territory, cut this vertical divide, and like make a horizontal line across it. Then maybe push a little bit sideways in here, then make a vertical wall. This will give us all this iron, this uranium, this stone, this oil. And then maybe we can start exploring some southern expansion opportunities. My next question is what happens to the northeast? Can we make the northern defense hold better? Let's find out. Look at me, I'm finding out. Our goal is water. Alright, this lake unfortunately stopped. And then resumes. So that's another easterly choke point. Darn the rock. There are some natural cliff. They could help. Does biter generation also have a preference for terrain type? Because I'm noticing that in these like barren wasteland deserts, there are barely any biter bases. Vroom, vroom. Okay. Never mind. Have a nice day. Yeah. Alright, hostiles up there. Any very convenient lake in the middle of these two areas? No. Sad about this development. Darn. Well, now to somehow make it back home. Where am I? Okay. Okay, welcome back to friendly territory. What have we learned? Let's check the map. As soon as I walk back into actually civilized territory. Maybe catch a train. There is no train. Let's check the map. This is what we've learned. There's a giant lake to the northwest. That's the good news. The bad news is there's not much else. We can push very north. We can make our lines here, here, and here, along with this. And then we can have our west be nice horizontal here and a vertical there. It's going to take some doing. There's a lot of big, powerful bases in the way, and a lot of territory to secure without biters just sort of sneaking in and putting secret bases in between. But I think it's possible. A lot of the bases that are in the desert right now are small. They can be destroyed on a case-by-case basis, but the danger is that we destroy one, leave, and then it is rebuilt later. So we will need to, when we push to the north, start a very, very aggressive campaign. Like we need to begin the push, and then we need to not stop. The bigger bases are a concern. It feels like we will only ever be able to destroy them with artillery from a distance. My normal strategies will not work. We're gonna need to build some heavy military industrial stuff. We're gonna need tanks. We're gonna need missiles, maybe. Really, I just want to produce artillery. Place them down at the current walls, bomb everything out, build a new artillery, bomb it out, keep going until everything's clear, and set up walls. When we do this, I think we should go in a counterclockwise direction. Start here, build this wall, go up, build this wall across, and here, then big push west. All the way down here, build this wall, and then build like this sort of like extended out wall up. We're gonna need to see what exactly is here to do that, but we'll figure it out. Another option is to expand south. Maybe there's a giant lake right here, so we just have to expand here and here. Maybe a little thin bit here. This is entirely wishful thinking, and I shouldn't speculate on this without actually knowing the truth of the situation. But, like, it could also work. It could work. Maybe it could work. It might work. How's the electricity? It seems like after that one scare before, we've been okay. Though I do understand that we are reaching our capacity a little bit. How's this? Waiting for space, waiting for space, waiting for space, waiting. Okay. Nothing dead yet. But almost. The factory's growing. The factory is certainly growing. I do also really want to just build a nuclear reactor just to... One, to push me to actually get the infrastructure to power it, but also just to say I have a nuclear reactor. That's funny to me. We can make the concrete. We can make the heat exchanger. Oh, the heat exchanger situation is gonna be tough because we can't like pipe. That's gonna be weird. I think they've simplified the steam turbine recipe. I remember it needing more stuff. Maybe I'm thinking of the heat exchanger compared to boiler. No, because you can't use a boiler. Can you? No. Okay. Nuclear reactor is not that crazy. It's a little crazy. Oh. Wait just one moment there. We want concrete. We can make concrete. I had an idea. What do you need for concrete? It's stone, iron ore, and water. Okay, so this is not going to be trivial. In fact, we may even need a water train. That's annoying. Or we make an iron ore train. That works as well. But the amount of concrete we need to make a nuclear reactor is finite. In fact, it's literally 500. And then 100 per each centrifuge. But we only need one centrifuge. So we need 500 concrete through whatever means necessary. Well, in that case, why bother with... just... You want a concrete. Just get stone, get water, build. We need 500, so we need 500 iron, 2,500 stone, and arbitrary amounts of water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 1,000. We're gonna need 2.5 of that. But for the moment, let's just start building some. We've got what we need. We can even offshore pump this. As soon as I figure out how to walk behind this cliff. I could explode it, but I like the cliffs. They look cool. Okay, offshore pump. Step 1. Where are you hiding? There you hiding. Nice place with open air. Concrete. Oh yeah, electricity. There you go. Ugh. Okay, so put all you in there, put all you in there. You're reserved for the concrete. So you don't even have to be reserved. Okay. That's plenty of iron ore. It's 500. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, it's 500. It's more than 500 even. Our limiting factor is stone and my patience. Oh yeah, we gotta put it in. Okay, fine. I'll blast a hole in the concrete. Or the cliff. Need more stone. Need more stone. Enough, not enough. We need more. Manufacture all the stone. I'm gonna go. It's been 3.5 hours. I shouldn't do this now. I'm gonna lead into an entire thing. So I'm gonna name this station, and it's gonna be what I'm doing. No, I'll just use the notes on the map. Delete, delete. Add tag. Auxiliary for north expansion. Another tag. What else are we doing? What else are we doing? And mulled by a steel, and anything else, anything else, anything else. Nothing like a friendly reminder. All right. It's off to you, future self. I'm gonna be done for now. I think we had a good time. I had a good time. I think you also had a good time. I hope. We're making progress. Things are developing. Sometimes they don't feel like they're developing. It feels like you're just running around in a factory for a few hours as you make like incremental improvements. The syllables be correct. But we've made a lot of progress. We've built the mall. We've expanded our rail network. We've added fuel to our rail network. Now things can actually be fueled. We are on the verge of grand military adventures, and we are starting to mass produce the things we need to build more factory quickly so that it will no longer be a pain and I'll stop procrastinating on it. All in all, good stuff. So I will go now. See you all next week for this again, but also other things, not next week, earlier than that. This is a bungled outro. Do you think eventually when I like gain speaking skills because I'm streaming so much, I'll stop accidentally saying the wrong syllables and stuff? I don't even know what kind of speech impediment I have is. I just know it as spoonerism. We're gonna learn all. We're gonna have all. We're gonna learn all. We're gonna have. Okay, yeah. I have a long way to go before I learn how to talk. That's the sound of the night vision going off because the game is still running for ambient background noise. In fact, you're gonna hear footsteps. I'm gonna walk near the copper mine so you can hear cool ambient copper mine noises. There. I'm Exception X. This is in TV. Tune in for more this, more not this, more me, more not me. Quint is in the final stretches of the Germany trip and is going to other countries that aren't Germany just to check them out. Quint will be back in like September, so it's only like 1 month away. Very exciting. We have a lot of cool plans prepared for when Quint gets back. Rose, I don't know what Rose is up to. Rose is an enigma. But that's what makes Rose great. And also a good arch rival. It's like, what's Rose planning? I gotta be on alert. I gotta just be ready for whatever Rose is planning. Who knows? I might be like assassinated. That'd be cool. Wouldn't put it past Rose. But good stuff in the future. I'm gonna go. Have a good day and good night. Just doing a little bit now that the stream's over. If this part gets muted out, nobody cares because the stream's over. Alright, see ya.